Men and women in tights, check. Graceful lifts and leaps, check. Hip thrusts, drag queens, studded codpieces, and roller skating, check, 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 and check. Ballet intersects with fun and fabulous in Love Lies Bleeding. The Alberta Ballet production of Elton John's life wraps up its Winnipeg run tomorrow. And if you're on the fence about going, well, our next guest is here to give you a gentle shove. Michelle Hologroski is an Elton John superfan. She's also a Royal Winnipeg Ballet subscriber, and she was in her 6th row seat Wednesday evening for opening night. She joins me now. Good morning.
Good morning.
So what did you think of the show?
It's absolutely fabulous. It's such a celebration of not only Elton John's life, but also his humanity. And it's just incredibly powerful to see how they convey some of the struggles that he's gone through in his life. I mean, starting off in a surreal world where he was expected to write 4 albums a year. And then also with respect to his struggles in life with drug addiction and also almost committing suicide. And it's just the roller coaster ride that was his life and is his life, and how it's come to be, and just the super fabulous interpretation of that through the song and dance.
Now, you've been an Elton John fan since your teens.
Yes.
You've seen him in concert twice, including sitting in the 4th row. What do you love so much about him?
I think it's just his authentic, obviously later in life, very authentic life. He could have married the woman and lived, a lie. But I'm a big fan of Shakespeare and the whole "to thine own self be true." That's really powerful to me. It's very powerful just with respect to, when I'm a biologist. And so I grew up and had 14 aquariums in the basement, and I think it's just very important in life to live authentically. And I think Elton lives very authentically. And he also gives back to the community. Just as a humanitarian, he's, second to none.
Is this show just for Elton John fans?
No, I think that it's for anyone who has had ups and downs in life. I think that it's very relatable, very engaging. I was in tears during Someone Saved My Life, because it was just the whole idea, and just you really feel the meaning of the lyrics, like "Sweet freedom whispered in my ear, you're a butterfly and butterflies are free to fly." And it's just that whole uplifting feeling of, when you're in your dark times, it's very hard, and it's hard to see the light. But if you can find a way, either through music or dance or ballet or other things that really bring you back to that zest for life that you have, it's just really important. And I think everyone can relate to that.
Now, you're a Royal Winnipeg Ballet subscriber, and Love Lies Bleeding isn't your average grandma's ballet. It's definitely not Swan Lake. Is it too much?
No, I don't think so. I think that there's just, it's not grotesque. It's kind of done in still a very tasteful way. There's some fun sequences with like Benny and the Jets, and it's just very sparkly baseball players and very graceful moves. Then you also have like this flamboyant Iron Man costume for Rocket Man, and they're on like rollerblades and flying across the stage with like sparklers to make them look like a jetpack. Plus, there's also just the sheer, it's just so fabulous.
And there's not a single tutu on stage for this show either. You mentioned some of the costumes. What about some of the other more risque costumes? They might be too much for my modest eyes.
Well, I think if you're a fan of Elton, you're okay with that. It's 2017, and at the end of the day, this is just, the way the world is now.
And your favorite part of the ballet was the opening number, Benny and the Jets. Why did you love it so much?
I think it's just because it's just so beautiful to see the synchronization of the movement, how difficult it must be. As a big fan of dance, I went to actually high school with some of the ballet dancers, so it's kind of funny just to, see from a personal perspective how much practice they must have had to do in order to have such graceful movements, and it's just so sparkly and fun.
Now, Love Lies Bleeding wraps up tomorrow with a final performance. What's your advice for people who are still deciding whether to go or not?
Definitely go. I think just it'll renew your zest for life, and just take the plastic off the couch and go.
Well, I think you've made a good sell, Michelle. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
The Royal Winnipeg Ballet's production of Love Lies Bleeding runs at the Centennial Concert Hall until Sunday. The choreographer and Alberta Ballet's artistic director, Jean Grandmaître, gives a pre-performance chat today and tomorrow. Let's take a listen now to Elton John. This is Benny and the Jets.